This, you see, in 2025, distraction is no longer something we fight against. It's something we live in. Every scroll, every vibration, every glowing screen is a silent thief. It doesn't steal your time, it steals you. You wake up in the morning, already reacting to the world. You go to sleep at night with a mind that never learned how to rest. And slowly you forget what peace feels like. But there is a way back, a way to stand still when the world keeps spinning, a way to train your mind, not to run from noise, but to rise above it. That is the Stoic secret, an ancient wisdom now reborn for the modern age. A discipline that teaches you to master distraction, not by force, but by awareness. If you stay until the end of this speech, you will learn how to transform chaos into clarity and how to turn every moment of distraction into a moment of power. Because you master your focus, nothing external can control you again. So take another deep breath, and let's begin this journey into the art of mastering distraction. In 2025, the greatest war is not fought on distant lands or in corporate boardrooms. It is fought within the human mind. The war between attention and distraction. Every single day, from the moment you wake up, the battle begins. The world does not ask for your permission before it floods your senses. Your phone lights up before your eyes even adjust to the morning light. Your thoughts start racing before your feet touch the ground. You are pulled in every direction, not because the world is chaotic, but because the mind has forgotten how to be still. This battle is subtle, silent, and constant. It does not use weapons made of steel, but tools made of desire. It tempts you with curiosity, lures you with pleasure, and traps you with comparison. You tell yourself you will check one message, watch one video, scroll for 1 minute. But 1 minute turns into 20, and before you realize it, you are no longer in control. The world is controlling you. The tragedy is not that we are distracted. The tragedy is that we have learned to live comfortably in distraction. Every swipe on your screen is a choice. Every notification is a test. The question is not whether you can resist. The question is whether you even notice what you are losing. Because every time your attention is stolen, a piece of your presence disappears. You stop observing your thoughts. You stop feeling your breath. You stop being where you are. The war within is not about noise outside. It's about the noise that enters and stays inside. The Stoics understood this centuries ago. They lived in marketplaces full of distractions, in cities filled with voices, in times of uncertainty, yet they mastered stillness. They knew that peace was not found by escaping chaos, but by standing unmoved in the middle of it. They practiced awareness like a soldier sharpens his blade. Daily, patiently, with intention, they learned that control does not come from suppressing thoughts, but from choosing where to place them. That same wisdom is more relevant today than ever before, because while the tools have changed, the battle remains the same. Modern life rewards speed but punishes depth. It teaches us to react fast, but not to think deep. It celebrates multitasking as a sign of intelligence, but in truth, it weakens the very essence of focus. You cannot see clearly when the water is disturbed. You cannot understand your own mind when it is scattered across 10 different screens. The power of attention lies in stillness, and stillness can only be found when you stop running after everything that moves. To master this battle within, you must first accept that the enemy is not technology, not social media, not the world. The enemy is your untrained attention. The mind, if left unguarded, will wander endlessly. It will chase what shines and ignore what matters. It will feed on stimulation and starve on silence. That is why awareness must become your discipline. Awareness of what you consume, what you focus on, and what you allow into your inner world. The moment you learn to observe your thoughts instead of reacting to them, the battle begins to shift. You start noticing how impulses rise and fall. You begin to feel how peace returns when you breathe consciously. You realize that your attention is not a victim. It is a choice. Each moment you bring your awareness back, you win a small victory in the war within. And when that victory becomes a daily practice, focus becomes effortless. You stop being a prisoner of distractions. You stop chasing every sound that echoes in your mind. You begin to walk through the noise untouched, calm, deliberate, awake. The outside world may still be loud, but inside you are silent. That is the true mastery of focus, not to escape the storm, but to remain centered while it rages around you. Because in the end, the battle within is not about defeating distraction. It is about remembering who commands your attention. Once you reclaim that power, everything else begins to align. The world will still call your name, but you will no longer answer to every voice. You will choose your thoughts, choose your focus, and choose your peace. And that is how the modern warrior wins, not by fighting harder, but by becoming still enough to hear his own mind once again. The world has changed, but the human mind has not. The same emotions that once ruled the hearts of ancient men still live within us today. Fear, desire, pride, anger, and doubt. The Stoics understood these forces long before science tried to name them. They did not seek to destroy their emotions, nor did they allow emotions to control them. They learned to see life through a different lens. A lens of clarity, reason, and calm awareness. This way of seeing is what we now call the Stoic lens. To see through the Stoic lens means to observe, not react. It means to watch your thoughts without becoming them. When someone insults you, the untrained mind reacts instantly, defending its pride. But the trained mind pauses. It sees the moment for what it truly is, just words, just sound, just movement in the air. The Stoic does not suppress emotion. He understands its nature. He knows that the world is neutral until the mind decides otherwise. This is where focus is born. Not from silence around you, but from silence within you. In 2025, this ancient wisdom has never been more needed. Every day, we are provoked by thousands of invisible stimuli, opinions, trends, expectations, judgments. Everyone is shouting this. Few are listening. Everyone is reacting. No one is reflecting this. The Stoic lens invites you to step back and see the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. When you look through this lens, you stop being a victim of circumstances. You become a witness of life instead of a prisoner of it. The Stoics taught that you cannot control external events, only your response. This truth is simple, yet it demands daily discipline, because the modern mind has been trained to react instantly to every comment, every piece of news, every distraction that touches its surface. But to live through the Stoic lens means you slow down time itself. You pause between impulse and response. And in that pause, you rediscover your freedom. You realize that your peace cannot be stolen, only surrendered. This is the secret behind unshakable focus. It is not about forcing your mind to be still. It is about freeing it from unnecessary noise. When you view challenges through the Stoic lens, even pain becomes a teacher. Failure becomes direction. Delay becomes preparation. Every experience, no matter how difficult, carries a lesson that shapes your awareness. The Stoic does not resist what happens. He aligns with it. He adapts, learns this, and continues forward without bitterness. This is not weakness, it is strength in its purest form. The strength of control. You begin to understand that mastery of focus is not about building walls to shut the world out. It is about opening your perception so deeply that the world no longer disturbs your center. The more you observe the less you react. The more you understand, the less you are disturbed. You become like a calm lake, still on the surface, but deep beyond measure. Even when stones are thrown, the surface ripples only for a moment and then returns to peace. Practicing this mindset transforms the way you see everything. When you face criticism, you no longer take it personally. You see it as feedback. When plans fail, you do not panic. You look for what life is trying to teach. When uncertainty arrives, you don't resist it. You breathe and you trust that clarity will come when your mind is quiet. The Stoic lens is not an escape from emotion. It is a path to balance emotion with reason. It is a bridge between heart and mind. In the noise of the modern age, those who see through this lens become rare. They move slower, but with purpose. They speak less, but with meaning. They act calmly while others rush. They live in awareness while others drift unconsciously through the days. To master the Stoic lens is to reclaim the ability to choose what deserves your attention and what does not. And when you live this way, the world no longer controls you. You begin to see things as they truly are, temporary, fleeting, passing like clouds in the wind. Through this, clarity focus becomes natural. The distractions lose their pull. The chaos loses its teeth, and what remains is a mind at peace with itself, sharp in vision, grounded in purpose, and unmoved by the storms of life. The greatest illusion of our time is that we are more connected than ever, yet most of us have never felt so disconnected from ourselves. The modern world has built an empire of distraction, a system designed to keep your eyes open, your mind busy, and your spirit asleep. You carry in your hand a device that holds the entire world, yet it also holds the power to pull you away from your own life. Every sound, every vibration, every notification is an invitation, not to live, but to drift. And slowly, without noticing you begin to trade your awareness for stimulation. The modern trap does not appear dangerous. It is silent, convenient, and disguised as comfort. It gives you entertainment, information, connection, but at a cost you cannot measure in money. The cost is your focus. The cost is your presence. The cost is your peace. The platforms you use are not designed to serve you. They are designed to keep you. Every scroll is calculated. Every color chosen, every delay engineered to capture attention. The more you consume, the less you feel. The more you compare, the less you value your own path. The trap works not because it is powerful, but because it feels normal. You begin to believe that rest means escaping into a screen. You mistake distraction for relaxation. You measure your worth by how others react to your life instead of how deeply you live it. And in that confusion, your sense of self starts to fade. You lose time, not in days or hours, but in moments, the quiet ones that used to belong to reflection, to gratitude, to presence. These moments are now filled with noise. You begin to forget the sound of your own thoughts. The Stoics warned about this long before the digital age. They said, be careful what occupies your mind, for that is what your soul becomes. If you fill your inner world with fragments of noise, your spirit becomes fragmented too. The mind cannot find peace in a storm it continues to feed. The modern trap is not about technology itself. It is about unconscious use. It is not the phone that distracts you. It is your lack of awareness while holding it. The tool is neutral. The intent defines its power. When you start to observe your patterns, the trap begins to loosen. Notice how often you reach for your phone when you feel bored, lonely, or anxious. That small movement is not about curiosity. It is about avoidance. You are avoiding the silence that reveals truth. The silence that forces you to see what is unresolved within. The mind seeks noise to escape stillness because stillness shows you everything you have ignored. But healing begins only when you stop running from silence. To break free from the modern trap, you must retrain the mind to find comfort in awareness again. This means setting boundaries not just with devices, but with your impulses. When you feel the urge to scroll, breathe. When you sense the pull to compare, pause. When your mind races toward distraction, anchor it back to the present moment. This is not easy, but it is necessary. Because every time you resist distraction, you reclaim a piece of your power. Every time you choose awareness over impulse, your focus grows stronger. Freedom in the modern world does not mean having access to everything. It means having the discipline to ignore what doesn't serve your growth. It means learning to be alone without feeling lonely. It means replacing constant consumption with conscious creation. You do not need to disconnect from the world. You only need to reconnect with yourself. When you master that, technology becomes a servant again, not a master. The modern trap will always exist because the world will always seek your attention. But once you become aware of how the trap works, it loses its control. You begin to see the pattern, how it tempts, how it distracts, how it feeds on your restlessness. And when you see it clearly, you can smile and walk past it. You no longer fight the noise, you simply stop feeding it. That is true mastery in 2025, to live in a world built on distraction and still remain aware, calm, and present. To walk among noise and still hear your inner voice. To be surrounded by illusion yet live anchored in truth. That is how you escape the modern trap, not by running away from it, but by awakening within it. Mastery does not arrive suddenly. It is not a moment of enlightenment or a secret technique that changes everything overnight. Mastery is the art of returning again and again to what truly matters. It is built not in noise, but in repetition. It is the quiet discipline of showing up for your own mind every single day, even when no one notices, even when no one applauds. The world will always chase what is quick, easy, and loud. But mastery belongs to those who can sit in silence long enough to hear the rhythm of their own focus. The path to mastery begins with awareness. You cannot master what you do not first observe. Most people rush through life reacting to everything that moves. Messages, emotions, distractions, without ever stopping to see the process behind the reaction. The moment you begin to truly see how your mind works, something powerful happens. You start to separate your awareness from your impulses. You notice when you are drifting. You recognize when your attention is being pulled. This recognition is the first spark of freedom, because awareness breaks the chain of unconscious reaction. From awareness comes intention. Once you understand where your attention goes, you can begin to guide it. Focus is not about forcing your mind to stay still. It's about gently bringing it back every time it wanders. Like training a muscle, mastery of focus requires patience. The mind will wander thousands of times, but each time you bring it back to the present, you strengthen your control. This is the quiet repetition the modern world has forgotten, the discipline of returning to now. The Stoics practiced this through reflection. Each morning, they prepared their minds for the day ahead. Each evening, they reviewed their actions, their thoughts, their choices. They understood that mastery is built on awareness and correction. Not perfection, but progress. And this practice is timeless. In 2025, you can do the same. Before you reach for your phone, take a breath. Before reacting to a comment, pause. Before speaking, observe your emotion. Each small act of awareness becomes a brick on the path to mastery. The truth is, distraction will never disappear. The noise outside will always exist. The world will not slow down for your peace. But mastery is not about waiting for silence. It's about creating it within. The more you practice focus, the less the outer world can disturb your inner world. You begin to move through chaos without losing balance. You begin to work, create, and live with a stillness that others mistake for strength. But it is not strength, it is presence. On this path, there will be moments of frustration. You will fall back into distraction, feel restless, even defeated. But every fall is part of the training. The Stoics taught that no one becomes disciplined in comfort. Growth happens in the return. In the moment you choose awareness again, even after failing. Mastery is not about never losing focus. It is about never giving up the effort to regain it. You begin to realize that each moment is a chance to start again. Eventually, focus stops being something you do and becomes something you are. You no longer have to fight distractions. They lose their power because your attention has become anchored in purpose. You begin to work with clarity, speak with calm, and live with direction. You discover that focus is not about isolation from the world, but alignment with it. You no longer react to life, you flow with it. And this is where mastery reveals its true meaning, peace. Not the absence of noise, but the presence of control. A mind trained in awareness becomes like a still flame, steady even in the wind. This is the power the Stoics carried within them, and it is the same power available to you today. In every breath, in every pause, in every conscious return to presence, you are walking the path to mastery. So do not rush it. Do not chase it. Simply continue with patience, with awareness, with calm, because mastery is not a destination. It is a way of moving through the world. It is the art of living fully in every moment, no matter how loud the world becomes.